Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about few more medical terminology related prefix which we can use in order to denote the information related to body part. Okay, or you can say there are various terminology where these prefixes are used again for denoting the information related to body part. Okay, so prior to this session, like we have already discussed various session where we saw like a couple of prefixes for different type of categories where some of the prefixes were used in order to denote the information related to shape, size, color, and different things, right? So this session is in the continuation of the same, where we are going to focus mainly on the prefixes that denote the body part. So we are in part 33. Okay, so how we are going to proceed with this session? First of all, I'll tell the definition for prefix only for those who are directly referring this session, because we should know about the meaning of prefix before we learn about the prefixes, right? And once it is clear, then I'll tell you the meaning of the prefixes that we are going to cover today. And after that, we will walk through some of the examples related to each prefixes. Why? Because examples are the thing that will help you to make the things clear, and it will help you to identify the terminology. Maybe let's say if you are preparing for any interview or an exam, so in that case, if you know how to look at the examples, how to study the example, then it would be much more easier for you to identify the terminology meaning. Okay, so let's start with the definition. So prefix is a word that attaches at the beginning of the medical terminology, and from there it produces some meaning. It produces some information, right? For example, it could denote the shape of the thing, it could denote the size of the thing, color, body part. Okay, so these all information we can fetch with the help of medical prefix, and it is always present at the beginning of any medical terminology. Got it? So this is the definition, simplest definition for prefix. Okay. Now we will start with the prefixes that we have for today. All right. So let's look at the first prefix. First prefix is neuro, which is used to denote the information related to nerve. Okay. Neuri and neuro, which is used to denote the information related to nerve. Okay. Let's look at the example. The first example is neurology. Neurology. So if you look at carefully, you will find neuro is a prefix and complete terminology is neurology. Now what is neurology? Neurology is the branch of medicine that deals with the disorder of nervous system. Okay, so whenever we are dealing with the disorder of nervous system, then that type of branch of medicine is known as neurology. You got it? Then in the next example, you will find another thing which is neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter. Now, what is neurotransmitter? It is a chemical substance that transmit nerve impulses between nerve cells. Okay, so whenever we are transmitting, we are discussing the substance that transmit the nerve impulses between nerve cells, then in that case we will denote it with the help of terminology neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter. So neurotransmitter is a complete medical terminology which is started with the prefix neuro. Then we have neuritis. Neuritis. What is neuritis? It is the inflammation of the nerve. Maybe it's because of some reason if the nerve is inflamed, then in that case we will denote the situation with the help of neuritis terminology. Here we are using the prefix neuri or neuri. Okay. Likewise, if you look at the fourth example, which is neurogenic. Now, what is neurogenic? It is something originated in or caused by a nerve tissue. Okay, so something, whenever something is originated in or caused by the nerve tissue, then in that case we will denote this information with the help of neurogenic terminology. So now if you look at all the examples again, you will find only one common thing in between them, which is nerve. Everywhere we are talking about nerve, somewhere we are talking about the disorder of nervous system, somewhere we are talking about uh, the the substance that transmit the impulses between the nerve cells, somewhere we are talking about the inflammation of the nerve, and in one example we are talking about the originating in or caused by the nerve tissue or nerve tissue related information. Okay, So that's the reason we are using either neuri or neuro prefix with the terminology. All right. So now we will move to the next prefix, which is oculo. Oculo. Now what is oculo? Oculo is a prefix which is used to denote the information related to eye. Okay. So for example, if you look at the first example, oculistic. Oculist means an eye specialist or ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist, which means a person who is expert in examining eye, or you can say a person who a doctor who is a eye specialist, then that person we can denote with the help of terminology oculist. Oculist, which is stated with the prefix ocul or oculo. You can relate it, right? Oculo or ocul, somewhere are related, right? Then we have oculogyric. What is oculogyric? Oculogyric means oculogyric means relating to the rotation of the nerve, often used in the context of abnormal eye movement. So because of the any abnormal eye movement, if uh, we would like to denote this thing or this condition with the help of any medical terminology, then in that case we will use the prefix, we will use the terminology oculogyric. Okay. Then we have another example, which is oculomotor nerve. Oculomotor nerve. Now what is oculomotor nerve? It is a nerve, or you can say it is the third cranial nerve responsible for controlling the movement of the most of eye muscles. Okay. So the third cranial nerve responsible for controlling the movement of eye muscles is known as oculomotor nerve. Then we have oculonasal. Now what is oculonasal? Pertaining to both the eyes and nose. Again, if you look at all the examples again, you will find only one common thing, which is eye. Everywhere we are talking about the eye, and that's the reason we are using the prefix ocul related prefixes. Oculo, oculi. Okay. So far we have discussed two prefixes. First one is neuri or neuro, which is related to nerve. Then we discussed about the oculo, which is related to eye, and now we are going to discuss about the onco. Onco prefix is used in order to denote tumor. So whenever in any of the diagnosis report or in any of the medical documentation, if you would like to showcase something related to tumor, then in that case you can utilize the prefix onco. For example, look at the first example, which is oncology. Oncology means the branch of medicine that deals with the study and treatment of tumor or cancers. Okay, so whenever a branch of medicine is dealing with the treatment of the cancer or tumor, then in that case, that particular field is known as oncology, or that branch of medicine is known as oncology. Then we have oncogenic. Oncogenic means having the potential to cause the development of tumor. Having the potential to cause the development of tumors. So this thing we will denote with the help of oncogenic terminology. Oncogenic is a terminology where we are using the prefix onco. Likewise, if you look at the third example, which is oncolytic. Oncolytic means referring to substances or treatment that destroy or inhibit the growth of tumor. So this thing we will denote with the help of oncolytic terminology, which is initiated with the prefix onco. Then we have fourth example, which is oncosurgery. What is oncosurgery? Surgical procedures related to the treatment of tumors. So when a surgery is performed in order to treat the tumor or cancer of the body, then in that case we will use the terminology oncosurgery. Okay, so in these all example, the common thing is tumor. Everywhere we are talking about the tumor. Okay, so yeah, these are the prefixes which I would like to share with you all in this session. I hope it is clear to all of you. And for today, we have only one question, like what information is provided by the prefix myo and myelo. Okay, so if you know the answer of it, of this question, then please share your knowledge in the comment section so that others can take a reference from it. But if you don't know the answer, then I would request you to go and check out the previous session, because there we have already discussed this thing in detail. Okay, So yeah, that's all from my end. I hope it is clear. And in the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.